So let's talk about those batteries that you have back there,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I have never seen anything like that before.
Well, there's not a lot of gear out there that's made for batteries. And my buddy Gary Dodd used to design preamps that specifically ran on batteries. And one of his earlier models it was a nice preamp, and I've got one back here. It's got two 5 amp hour batteries on each side. So there's 4 batteries in there, and you could turn it on and it would run on 2 of them. And then when it ran down a little bit, it'd beep at you and know that it's down, and you'd switch to the other 2. And while you were running those 2, the other 2 would charge.
Got it.
And so you had continuous battery. And then one time he decided to connect all 4 of them series parallel to give it a little more dynamic, and it picked up quite a bit. It's like, wow, the dynamics got a little better. Wait a second here. So let's use an external battery. And then we wound up trying a 20 amp hour battery and a 100 amp hour battery. And it got better each time.
Oh, really?
It's like the bigger battery, even though we're drawing a small amount of power from it, the dynamics and everything really picked up. And so he then started designing a smaller preamp that used an external battery. And we've been using those, big AGM style batteries on that preamp for quite a while. And so kind of took that and applied it towards the DAC. I mean, the DAC it's also, runs on a plus or minus 12 volt rail. So it works well with an external 12 volt battery. That gets the AC noise completely off of it. Same with the Mac Mini. Power supply has been stripped out of it, and it's running on an external battery. Now, another thing we do is we run a battery bus in line with that, which gets some of the ripple out of it. And there's a battery bus built into my DAC, so it's buffering even the impedance of the battery. So all that together, when you get your whole front end off of the AC, you've got just literally no noise at all, and it sounds so clear and
Clear?
And every time we take it to a show, it sounds, those batteries are the same no matter where you take them. You know, you don't have to worry about the show AC. And a lot of people always think about AC as far as let's clean it up at the amplifier. You really want to clean it up at the front end because you've got a clean signal. The amplifier is just going to amplify a clean signal. So it's really more important to get that front end off the grid than anything. And of course, being an amplifier, it draws a lot of juice, so it's harder to run them off of a battery.
It is.
So yeah, all the whole front end, it's clean power.
So the amplifiers is the only thing that you do not have on the batteries.
Right.
Everything else is on the batteries. And these batteries that you guys are seeing on the screen right now, where did you buy them? What kind of battery?
Oh, you just go to a golf cart store, and order just buy an AGM battery. They've got them there, big 12 volt, 100 amp hour batteries. They're about $225 to $250. And we've been doing this for a long time, and we've kind of realized that they last about 8 years. That's how long they last. And part of the reason they last a long time is you never really discharge them. You're keeping them above 12 volts all the time. So it's just using it as a power supply. You're not draining it down and recharging it. The trickle chargers that are on there, the little C-Tech chargers, they keep them topped off all the time. Like the DAC and even the preamp, I could literally run for weeks on them without them even bringing the battery levels down. The Mac Mini drains it a little bit. It's drawing a little more juice. It'll go 2 or 3 days before I really need to shut it down and let it catch back up. And it'll bring it back up another volt or volt and a half and keep it topped off. But yeah, they're pretty trouble-free. Like I said, that battery, people think, oh man, I don't have to buy a battery. It's cheaper than a power cable. It's like, what do you complain about, man? It's like, you can't get a good power cable, for under a couple $100 hardly. I mean, we offer some that are really, really good that are just a little above that, but it's hard. It gets pricey to make those really good ones, and the battery's even cheaper, and there's no AC noise at all.
They're doing a phenomenal job, I have to say. There is a lot of there is such a low amount of noise here, and that's clearly coming from the setup that he has when it comes to the batteries. I have never actually seen anything remotely close to what he's done here. I know it's very DIY, as you can see on your screen right now. It isn't a system that many of you would want to have in the living room. I'm sure many of you will.
Yeah, it's not a visual showpiece.
It's not a visual showpiece. This is for those of you that have your own dedicated space. You want to try things that definitely work and that don't break the bank. I mean,
Yeah.
there is a budget for everyone. Strong Tank, as you know, I'm a dealer for Strong Tank, and that's a battery operated power conditioner. It is a lot of money. The cheapest Strong Tank is like $17,000 right now. It's a lot of money. Okay, but the performance of batteries on
Oh yeah.
a high-end audio system, or any system, I should say,
Oh yeah.
is clearly there.
Yeah.
If you can do what he has done, okay, and I'm not capable of doing anything remotely close to what Danny does here. I can tell you that the performance is definitely worth the investment. The improvements with regards to your system is absolutely, absolutely significant. We sometimes fight a lot of the normal interference that come through our power grid, right? There is so much gunk, there is so much noise
Oh
that
yeah.
enters our systems that we just like to change things in and out to kind of improve on that. The reality, it all starts with the power, making
Absolutely.
a better decision when it comes to the power delivery, right? And I think
Mhm.
that's really what you're showing here for all of us to
Oh yeah.
really look at.
And just running off a battery just simplifies the whole process. You
It
know,
absolutely
you
does.
got to have gear though that's designed to run on 12 volts. You know, there's a lot of DA converters that can do that.
Right.
Most computer systems, most laptops are 18, 19 volts or something like that. They're not really designed for an external battery like this.
Mm-hmm.
But the Mac Mini runs on 12 volts. So it's already a lower voltage, lower noise floor piece of gear. So it was real easy to strip that power supply out, which is a switching power supply, and put it external, and then just, man, there went the noise.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Now you heard what he has to say about the importance of using batteries in your system. Stay tuned for
Yep.
more. Thank you for everything.
Yep.